It's been a year since Hyderabad University research scholar Rohit Vemula was found dead in the university campus. As the question looms over his suicide and those he blamed, justice continues elusive. The Hyderabad University, which has become a bastion of student protests since Vemula's demise, the campus yet again was a site of clash between students and police who were deployed to thwart a planned march amid to seek justice for Rohit Vemula. All right, we are getting some breaking news on Top of 11 Live. Massive student protests at Chennai's Marina Beach for Jallicut, the bull taming sport which has been banned by the Supreme Court. Students are demanding that the government should immediately intervene to lift the ban on Jallicut. Student protesters are chanting slogans in favor of the bull taming sport. They're also demanding that Tamil Nadu Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam should immediately resolve the matter. Meanwhile, they're also demanding a ban on PETA, which is an animal rights group. They're demanding a ban on PETA in Tamil Nadu as well.
After a series of protests that we have seen in Madurai, the Jallikattu protests have started in Chennai as well. We have young volunteers who have come all the way to the Marina Beach in Chennai saying that they want Jallikattu, and they've been calling out to various politicians in the state and asking them to come forward in support of their cause. Right now, let me cut across to the people who have gathered here. What exactly is the demand that you want, and what are your plan of action right now?
First, I want to tell you one thing clearly. It is we are the people of India. We are the resident of Tamil Nadu. Our identity is only Tamilian. We are all belongs to Tamilian community. Jallikattu is not a new thing to newly invented in India. It is a 5,000-year-old culture. It is linked with our blood. We the Tamil people, without any condition, without any restriction, we want to do Jallicut. We want to continue Jallicut.
What is the step that you're going to take right now? Are you going to go in for a sit-in protest? Are you protesting the whole night?
Yes, if you want to ban the Jallikattu, we ban all product of Coke and Fanta Sprite, all of we ban it. If you want the Jallikattu, we meet Jallikattu, okay?
This is the common consensus of the people who have gathered here, who have been singing sloganeering here, saying that they want a ban on PETA, and they also want Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam to come forward and listen to the cause that they're talking about. They really want the Jallikattu, the traditional sport that they're calling as one that would show the valor of the Tamil people to be brought back and the ban be lifted. With camera person Vijay in Chennai, this is Akshay Nag for India Today.
All right, we are getting some information from the financial capital of the country, Mumbai. Power supply to Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus station in Mumbai has been disrupted, but the latest is that the power has been restored. For a while, the CST station plunged into darkness, causing a lot of inconvenience to the people there because it's supposed to be the lifeline of Mumbai. I'm joined by India Today correspondent Vidya for more of this. Vidya, what's the latest? When did this power outage happen?
It was somewhere around 10 o'clock that the entire issue really started, and the entire CST station, which is also a World Heritage Site, it plunged into darkness. The Central Railway really got into action, put up all its best people to work, and the restoration work started. It was around 10:30 that the entire work really was restored, the electricity was restored. But during this entire time, the good thing was the services, that Central Railway services were not disrupted. People who were heading home at late hour could actually catch the train and go back. But certainly, because of the entire station plunging into darkness, it certainly was a pretty unsafe and a difficult place to stay in for many people who felt very uncomfortable, especially with the fact that CSE is a place where electricity has never really gone anywhere. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why everyone was shocked as to why the electricity was not present, and the electricity supply was disrupted. And immediately, however, by 10:30, the entire restoration of electricity was done, and the power supply was put back into force. And that's one of the reasons why, since the services had not been disrupted, people did heave a sigh of relief that they could really, be at CSE and feel pretty safe.
All right, thank you so much, Vidya, for that update. All right, we're getting some information on demonetization. The Congress is all set to target the BJP government over demonetization. The Congress is saying that it is going to hold nationwide protests. It will घेर out 25 RBI offices across the country in order to register their protest against demonetization. The Congress has also called the RBI a captive puppet of the Modi government. Let's listen in.
RBI central offices and its 25 offices across India tomorrow. Non-removal of withdrawal restrictions despite expiry of 70 days post-demonetization is a treachery with people of India. RBI's autonomy has been seriously compromised. Reserve Bank of India has become a captive puppet or a post office following the diktats of Modi government. Considering the insurmountable loss to the economy, job losses across the country, loss in businesses and trades, Congress party has decided to घेर out the RBI offices across India, demanding a fixation of responsibility for mess of demonetization.
All right, we are getting some breaking news from Bengal, where a person has died in a violent anti-land acquisition agitation which erupted in the state's South Pargana district over a power project. Farmers of the Pargana district were protesting against the alleged forceful acquisition of 16 acres of farmland for the project by the Power Grid Corporation of India. The villagers were seen pelting stones at the police. In return, the police fired tear gas shells and rubber bullets to disperse the agitating protesters.
Just 2 days ahead of the biggest business summit in Bengal, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has dropped the proposal for a power project in South 24 Parganas Bhangar, owing to violent protest by landlooters who say that the land had been grabbed by force. Mamata Banerjee has been monitoring the entire situation very closely. She has said that the proposed power grid will not take place at Bhangar after the violent agitation that broke out earlier in January and then escalated today. So at this point in time, the villagers are saying that some of the agitators have been injured. They are claiming that it was due to police firing, and one of them is being admitted in Kolkata. With camera person Tapas Bari, Indrajit for India Today in Kolkata.
All right, so we will keep you updated on the latest that is taking place in Bengal. Shifting focus, a 16-year-old girl from Kashmir who impressed everyone with her spectacular performance in Dangal became the unsuspecting victim of online bullying after her meeting with Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti. Some even lecturing her that her acts of performing in a movie were un-Islamic. Now, superstar Aamir Khan has come out to defend Zaira Wasim and tell her to be strong as the entire nation is standing with her. But the bullies are still roaming free.
हम गीता को दिखा रहे हैं एकदम शेरनी की तरह लड़ना है लड़कों को हराना है
But bullied and threatened by fundamentalists into issuing an apology just for meeting the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Still apparently terrified, Zaira refused to give any comment on the controversy swirling around her. But she now has got support from her co-stars in Dangal.
Zaira, I want you to know that we are all with you. The beauty is that bright, young, talented, hardworking, respectful, caring and courageous kids like you are a role model not only to kids in India but across the world. You certainly are a role model for me.
Attacking online trolls, Aamir Khan has asked everyone to leave Zaira alone. The 16-year-old has no reason to be afraid, say the real Fogart sisters. The government too has stepped in.
ये बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट है। ये उन लोगों का माइंडसेट बताता है कि किस प्रकार से डेमोक्रेसी के ऊपर वो जमहूरियत में बिल्कुल विश्वास नहीं करते, जिस प्रकार से उसको थ्रेटन किया गया एक आम बच्ची और जिसका इतना बड़ा नाम है, ये बहुत ही अनफॉर्चुनेट है।
एक 16 साल का उम्र का लड़की जम्मू कश्मीर से आए, एक अच्छा पॉपुलर सिनेमा में एक्ट किया, एक अच्छा मैसेज दिया और वो अपना स्टेट में जाकर अपना मुख्यमंत्री से मिला। इसमें क्या आपत्तिजनक विषय कोई समझ में नहीं आ रहा। फिर भी कुछ लोगों ने कैंपेन चलाया, मगर सारा देश उनके साथ है।
With India solidly standing with Zaira during this trying time, those who bullied her are still scouting the internet looking for their next victim. Will they be made to apologize now? With Ashwini in Jammu, Bureau Report, India Today.
As cold wave continues to grip the entire North India, sporadic snowfall continues. With fresh snowfall, temperatures across Kashmir division have gone down, disrupting the life of people living across the valley. Meanwhile, over in the northeast, Sikkim recorded its first snowfall, bringing smiles on people's faces, reminding them of the Himalayas' natural beauty in the landlocked state.
There is considerable amount of snowfall that is happening. The Met Department has predicted that it could snow till late in the evening today as fresh waves of disturbance are headed to the valley. Because of the snowfall, the local population has to face some sort of inconvenience, particularly with regards to commutation. Places like national highways that connect the valley with the rest of the country are blocked since yesterday in itself. There are other routes as well, particularly in villages and in districts which get also choked because of the snowfall. Now, because of this, there could be some sort of a problem with regards to the local population, but at the same time, this weather, this snowfall is perfectly the time when tourists also want to visit places like Gulmarg and Pahalgam, and that's why the tourism players are really hopeful that perhaps this would bring more visitors and cause boost to their trade. The Met Department, as I pointed out, has predicted there could be some more snowfall, and that's why people perhaps have to brace for a little more impact. With cameraman Rauf Shujaul Haq in Srinagar for India Today.
Amid this snow and a complete breakdown of communication lines, there's some good news this Tuesday evening. As temperature dips below 0 degrees in several parts of North India, there is a heartwarming story from Shimla. Last week, a 23-year-old pregnant woman was writhing in labor pain. Communication lines were down, roads were blocked, and the ambulance couldn't reach her. That's when 6 policemen offered to help her. They carried her on their shoulders for 10 kilometers. They continued to walk for 3 hours. The woman and her child are safe now. Zero to -2 degrees temperature, biting cold, communication paralyzed, and day-to-day life completely out of gear. But in the last 1 week, Shimla has witnessed incredible stories of hope and humanity. In snow-capped Bhont village of Shimla, a 23-year-old pregnant Kamini was writhing in labor pain last week. Roads were blocked, communication lines down. No way an ambulance could have reached her. And then 6 policemen did the unthinkable. They wrapped a quilt around her, made her sit on her chair, and carried her on their shoulders. They covered a distance of 10 kilometers in 3.5 hours to get her to the hospital.
सर हमने किया था एम्बुलेंस को फ़ोन, उन्होंने बोला कि रोड साफ़ नहीं है तो एम्बुलेंस तो आ नहीं सकती। फिर हमने मतलब फायर ब्रिगेड वालों को, जो भी इनके रिलेटिव जो भी कज़न, उनको सब ने किया अपना फ़ोन, फिर वो तो आ नहीं पाए।
बहुत मुश्किल है सर, इसके द्वारा अगर नहीं मिलता इलाज तो मेरी वाइफ की एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम ज़्यादा उस बढ़ जाती थी, तो उसके कारण सर मैं अपने पुलिस वालों भाइयों का धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ।
Luckily, the policemen got her admitted to the hospital in time and saved 2 lives.
जैसे ही पेशेंट पहुंचा तो उसको इमरजेंसी में देखा गया और उसके बाद उसकी हालत को देखते हुए उसका इमरजेंसी सिजेरियन करना पड़ा और एट प्रेजेंट दोनों माँ और बच्चे दोनों ठीक हैं और दोनों की हालत ठीक है।
These unsung heroes in uniform have restored everyone's faith in humanity. Their presence of mind and act of humanity gave a new lease of life to this mother and daughter. India Today salutes these policemen. Bureau Report, India Today. Welcome back. You're watching 11 Live and I'm Archana Solanki. Let's get to the latest in the mysterious Sheena Bora murder case. The CBI has framed charges against Indrani Mukherjee, Peter Mukherjee and Sanjeev Khanna in the twisted murder case. All 3 accused have been charged with murder and criminal conspiracy. After the framing of the charges, Indrani Mukherjee then sought permission from the court to divorce her husband, Peter.
Murder, jail, charge sheet, and now divorce. The Sheena Bora murder mystery has all the elements of a soap opera. And now it has taken another sensational turn, with Indrani Mukherjee seeking a divorce from her husband of nearly 15 years, Peter Mukherjee. The CBI has finally filed a charge sheet against the main accused in the brutal murder of Sheena Bora. The 3 accused, Indrani and Peter Mukherjee, and Indrani's ex-husband Sanjeev Khanna, have been charged with conspiracy, murder and destroying evidence.
Special CBI court in Mumbai framed charges of murder, criminal conspiracy, destroying evidence and kidnapping against Indrani Mukherjee, her husband Peter Mukherjee and ex-husband Sanjeev Khanna. Charges of attempt to murder were dropped against Peter Mukherjee. In an interesting turn of event, after charge framing, Indrani Mukherjee informed court that she plans to file a divorce petition.
In addition to these charges, both Indrani and Sanjeev have been charged with attempt to murder her son Mikhail Bora.
As far as my client and Indrani is concerned, there is a 302, 201, 202, 203, and 120B.
As also 307, attempt to commit murder?
Yeah, and also 307, attempt to murder.
All the 3 key players were present in the courtroom while charges were being framed against them. But none of them pleaded guilty to their charges and are ready to face trial instead. The CBI gave a clear-cut statement that it was Indrani who was the mastermind behind the deadly murder. She was the one who killed her own daughter. The charge sheet comes as relief for Sheena's brother Mikhail Bora, who has been seeking justice for his sister for nearly 2 years now. But as the courtroom drama unfolded, another surprising twist, with Indrani seeking a divorce from her husband Peter Mukherjee. Not just that, she also expressed her desire to change her will.
She said it in court that she's gonna be filing for divorce and she's changing her will. This is all that she said it in court. The court has said that it's her personal right. She's allowed to do whatever she wants to.
Several twists and turns in the Sheena Bora murder mystery. But the case has only become murkier. With the trial set to begin on February the 1st, the question is, will more skeletons really tumble out? With Sahil Joshi and Mustafa Sheikh in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
With that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. Stay tuned to India Today because up next is our entertainment special in the club with Sushant Mehta.